Hey everyone, it's Hannah Faye. Today I'm going to be cleaning out my computer, giving it a real deep clean. So we're going to start by taking off the front and the side panels. The side panel is just this glass screen held on by thumb screws. I'm sure a lot of you guys have a case that looks just like this. I realize that even that side panel is really dirty, but we'll take care of that later. First things first, I'm going to look at the fans on the front. So I have a front panel that just pops right off really easily. Oh my goodness, those fans are disgusting. The front panel is surprisingly not very dirty at all. It just needed a little bit of a spray from the canned air and that was good to go. Nice clean panel. That was the easiest part of this entire thing to clean. So now we need to take off this mesh that's in front of the fans, and that is what's holding most of this gross dirt. So I'm trying to spray it with the canned air just to get any little bit off, but as you can see, that didn't work at all. So I ended up rinsing it just in the sink, and then I used the canned air to spray all the water out of the mesh, which actually worked really well. And then I just set it aside and let it air dry a little bit longer. Now I'm just taking the canned air and spraying the inside of my computer. Just any dust that might have built up on any of the surfaces, I just want to get it out. It wasn't too bad. You can see I covered my hand because you're not really supposed to shake the can, and I'm kind of shaking it around. And just as you use it, it makes it so cold. See, it's literally refrigerant. It's stuck to my sweater. Imagine that was your hand. So there is this little tray on the bottom of my computer. Some computers have little magnetic meshes or some sort of screen that goes on the bottom. So I emptied that. It really was not dirty. It had like 2 little pieces of debris in. And here it took me like 5 minutes to try to figure out how to get it back in, and I finally got it. So now I'm going to the fans. Again, I'm gonna use my canned air first. It didn't really work as well as I had hoped, and the biggest reason for that is because I just let this dust build up. It's been overdue for a cleaning, so this is more of a deep cleaning than a routine cleaning. I quickly realized that my makeshift dust rag paper towel was not going to be enough, and so I went and grabbed my cotton swabs and I just went to town on each individual little fan blade. They all had a lot of dirt caked on them. So yeah, this was the best way that I could see to get them thoroughly clean. And I'd cut out the majority of that because you guys don't need to see me just going to town with Q-tips. So yeah, then I finished it off with some compressed air. And then I thought, hey, what about my CPU cooler? That has a fan. I bet that's pretty gross. So here I just took the fan out. Not the whole heat sink, just the fan, and I did the exact same thing. I took Q-tips and I just cleaned every individual blade. And then I sprayed it a little bit with the compressed air afterwards to get any debris out, and I also sprayed my counter because it was full of dust and it was very gross, and I need to vacuum after this video. So here I am just getting rid of any excess dust. And then I was like, well, if my heatsink fan is that dirty, imagine how dirty the heatsink itself is. And I was right. So again, compressed air. Then I decided, hey, you know what, there's this little vent where the PSU is, maybe I should cover it so I don't get dust in there. So that's why I put that paper towel there. And then I took Q-tips and the same thing, just went up and down those little grooves, getting all the dust and dirt out of them, and finish it off again with the compressed air. And I also sprayed down my graphics card really good after this because I didn't want it to be covered in the dust that came off the heatsink. Then it took me a really long time to be able to put this back onto the heatsink. This is the fan that I took off just because it's in the case and it was not easy to work around. But I finally got it cleaned and reattached. And then the last thing that I wanted to do is give my side panel window a really good wipe down. I used Windex. You can use any glass cleaner. Then after cleaning it on both sides, I reattached it, put the thumb screws back in. Then I needed to put the front panel back together, but I noticed there was a couple spots, so I did a little touch up. And then I attached the mesh, which was just magnetic, super easy to attach, and then the front panel which goes in with two little, I don't know, knobs, I guess. That's how I would explain what they're held on by. And then I gave it another wipe just in case there was any residual fingerprints, which happen a lot. I plugged all my peripherals back in. Then I realized I forgot to plug in my CPU fan, so I had to fix that. But thank you so much for watching. Bye!